Good morning, friends. Yesterday, we started our talks on changing the rules to become how the top official, the top CEO, after implementing certain new idea, new rule, they immediately look on to the benefits and the uh, weakness of those rules and they set to change themselves accordingly. So for this changing the rule, when you want to change, I said yesterday, there is a process involved, and each process today we'll discuss one by one. There are certain rules, my friends, and the first rule today we are going to discuss in changing the rules is that you might not, rule number one, you might not have a disease that behavioral change can cure. In my talk, I'll be giving you two examples which I have noticed. After having visited far too many institutions, professional, academic, corporate sectors, and where all have been invited to give a talk on behavioral modification, communication, personal development, and software, and so many things. When I see intimately, I meet people, I realize how can you have a placement or a training officer, just young juvenile about 25, 30 years old who puts on a shirt and tie? Whatsoever qualification he or she might have acquired or having it, but she or he lacks the experience. And my friend, what matters is experience, not just a piece of paper called academic qualification or how you present yourself in the form of visual effects. So I give you two examples to uh, explain you the first rule, and that is you might, any trainer, any change you want to implement. You see, you might not have a disease that a behavioral change can cure. So I give you a first example of a top official in one of the institutions. I'm purposely not naming any institution. Aim is not to take names. Aim is to learn the lesson. There was a particular person I meet where I'm supposed to counsel him and train him for certain behavioral pattern, and his feedback was given to me by the institution. When I meet the person and all those his colleagues who are working with him, I found that guy was so positive, and he had the perfect interpersonal relations with everybody. He himself was happy with his progress. Surroundings, people were very happy working with him. He was very light talker, always smiling, bubbling with energy, and listening to the people, and people are happy about him. But once I see the feedback, the management was not very happy about his output. And there where I come in to give him counseling or training based on the feedback I was given to it. But my friend, I was quite surprised. After having met him for 2 days, actually he did not needed a trainer like me who was there to train him for his behavioral modification or his interpersonal skills. I simply told him because what I realized that he was weak in technology, use of technology available in modern days. Even I feel myself quite weak in perfectly or fully exploiting the technology which is available to me or to any person. All he needed was some technical expert to train him for 10-15 days so that he becomes perfect in using of those apps and those software, those programs, so that his efficiency automatically goes up. I simply told him, my friend, you don't have a disease that I can cure. Unlike all those young, charming trainers. And when I meet them, they are fully convinced that they are the ultimate trainers of the world, which is not हर शख्स है खुदा बनने पर मसरूफ. Every individual is too busy to act God. हर शख्स है खुदा बनने पर मसरूफ. और ये तमाशा खुदा खुद देख रहा है, and the management keeps watching without realizing they're more interested in visual effects. That's it. I told him, I cannot train you. Get a technology expert who can uh, fulfill the weakness you have, address the weakness you have. He was a little like a hypochondriac with a pain in his ribcage. He thinks he has a lung cancer when all he has a little muscle pain. Sometimes, my friend, we confuse interpersonal problem with something else. Therefore, it's very important to realize that you train, you put those rules if you want to change, which you can actually do. You should not try to fix a square into a circle or triangle into a square. The second example I share with you, in another institution where I met a person who was very popular again. But the institution was not happy that he was not getting the kind of support in the electronic or print media about their institution when it comes to comparison with others as they expected. And lo and behold, it's the same thing. Again, a very efficient person, very good worker, very sincere. He gets along with people very well. Interpersonal relationship perfect. Very popular. But I realized after a few days dealing with him that he was a bad listener. It's very important to be listening to surroundings. Even a step further, when I realized that his problem that he ignored people. Whatever people told him, he set aside, and he was thinking that whatever he's doing or saying is that's the ultimate line, and from the is a perfect. There cannot be any better thought to that. And when I went further deeper, I realized even that was not his problem. His problem was that he wasn't good at spinning the media. That's not surely that's not the behavioral problem. It's definitely a skill problem. All he needed was a coach. All he needed. Oh, all right. He needed a coach. He needed a trainer who was a media coach. He certainly did not need me. I realized that I was not having the cure for the disease what he was carrying. Then, my friend, you might not have and it goes for all people. You might not have a disease that behavioral change can cure. Everywhere you cannot put the same template. Ultimately, I say, my friends, to understand this first rule, that you have to be careful with your feedback. Ensure that your feedback is conducted properly. Feedback should not be deceptive. It must reveal what's on the people's mind, but it can be misinterpreted. You see, only what you actually see only what you want to see. Or sometimes you misread even. Misread means when I say you see something that isn't there at all. Keep this in mind. Sometimes feedback reveals a symptom, certainly not the disease. My friend, remember, a symptom is a headache. And given some time, it goes with time. You don't have to do anything. It doesn't require even treatment. But it goes away. But if there is a brain tumor, on the other hand, it does not go on its own. My friend, it just simply cannot be ignored. It needs a deliberate treatment. You see, this is organization that have endured a temporary, I've seen this in many organizations which have endured a temporary downturn. My friend, the feedback reveals energy, it reveals angry employees lashing as a scapegoats. Angry employees needs to be heard and dealt with. Ultimately, I say rule number one, if you want to understand correctly, the change is be careful. Then you may be trying to fix something. Be very, very careful that you are attempting to do something or correct something. That problem does not exist at all. You want to fix something that isn't broken at all. It doesn't need fixing, or it can even fix by you. Consider these points and apply yourself where you are actually needed on the people who understand the people's feedback correctly, and only address the problem what they have, not based on their regular feedback, and put your expertise in whichever you are in every situation. We shall discuss the second rule tomorrow. Thank you very much.